Hey everybody, it's Trigger Bar Philosopher. Welcome back out to the channel. Today we have a super exciting episode. We're going to be taking a look at the Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 2.0 and 380. This should be a fun time. Let's get to shooting. All right, everybody, so let's just take a quick look at the gun that we're going to be talking about today. This is the Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 2.0. This is my hand. So this is a very small pocket style handgun. Look how small that is. Look how thin that is. It's only coming in at about 9 ounces. It comes with 2 magazines, one 10 round, one 12 round if you live in free states and you're not behind the communist line. Let's just take a look. It is chambered in 380 ACP. If you just take a little bit of a look at that, this is 9mm, 9x19, and this is 380 or 9mm Kurtz for short. Okay, well, let's just take a look at the weapon that we have today. As you can see, this is a very traditional M&P style design. It's got the grip texturing that is very common on the other Smith & Wesson firearms. It has a very nice slide stop. It's got a takedown lever. It has a trigger with a trigger shoe that gives you just that extra safety precautions. It is a striker fired gun versus the older Bodyguards were hammer fired guns. It has very nice sight system. Hard to see maybe in this lighting, but the front is orange and it is with a tritium insert. One thing is that you can see that it has a pretty wide berth in terms of where you can see that front sight lining up with the back 2 sights. This is very exciting because Smith & Wesson finally has released their very popular Bodyguard with this 1.5-stack magazine. You can tell a traditional single stack will just be about that width all the way down, but this allows you to gain extra capacity by staggering the ammunition inside this and to get into 12 rounds in such a small little package. Pretty interesting thing with this, when we do, again, there is nothing in this magazine. There is no round in this gun, but when we put this into the gun, that's a flush fitting 10-round magazine. For me, with a person with large sized hands, not extra large, not extra large, but I use large gloves, this fits me perfectly. I am just about the average size human being, 5'11", and so with my large size hands, fairly normal sizes. And so if you are like most of the people in the world, this gun will fit just right. You can get those full 3 fingers on it. That's pretty awesome. I would say their dimensions and sizes for this gun are pretty incredible. When we have the 12-round magazine, I can fully fit all 3 fingers easily on it. As you can tell, there's not a lot of space, just like all micro guns have, not a lot of space for that second hand to come up. Nice ergonomics on this very small micro pistol. One thing that I would point out is it does have a little bit of texture for you to index your thumb as you're coming forward. That is ambidextrous on this. Of course, I'll point out that the mag release and the slide stop are not ambidextrous, but I believe you can swap the mag release from the left to the right side, or from the right to the left side. Okay, well, these are my very first shots with the Bodyguard 2.0. I've got the 10-round mag. I've got some S&W 92 grain FMJs that I'm just going to test first. See how we do. This is our first shots. That's pretty good. It's actually definitely pretty minimal recoiling gun for my first impression with it. The first magazine down, obviously no failures, which was nice to see. I did feel that one problem I have with these small guns, when you stick your finger through the slide over here, you run into the hand, and my fingernails jamming into the thumb on the other side, so that's not super comfortable. So I have to adjust my finger out just a little bit more. It's very small gun. It does have these nice indexing spots where you can get your thumb down on that indexing spot. If you have super big hands, you could easily get your thumb out in front, and that wouldn't be good. That far left is pretty typical for me with micro pistols. I've had that with the LCP. I had that with my Kimber, and I've had to adjust all of these sights a little bit over, and I suspect I'm going to have to drift this one as well. Again, that's just kind of par for the way that I shoot these iron sight guns. So yeah, I wouldn't read into that anything about the gun. That's 100% me. So yeah, running pretty good. I am getting that fingernail in on that thumb, and that is bugging me. Other than that, the recoil again is pretty good. Notice my group tightened up a little bit. It shifted from left to right. I had to hold over pretty significantly and aim the gun over this way. I am putting the sight right on the target. As you see, I'm still shooting a little bit low, but I am having to aim and put that sight on the right post. These sights are pretty good, but meaning they have pretty wide aperture. You're not just filling up the middle of it, but I'm having to put that all the way over in order to get that. So yeah, that's interesting for me. And that is, again, that's completely consistent with all other small guns, and I think it has everything to do with my right eye being dominant and me losing vision or blurriness in that right eye and causing probably some left-right issues. So let's load up some more mags and keep shooting. Okay, well, we're going to continue on with shooting. Just as a reminder, I'm not super far down range. I am about 6 yards. So that just gives you a sense of how I'm able to shoot at this distance. You can see I'm getting a feel a little bit for the gun, able to get them in on the bullseye. I am holding pretty low, pretty skewed, aiming over to the right. It's still within the window for it. It's not exactly lined up in the center like I would like it to be. But hey, that's pretty good, and I am getting a better feel for that up-down on it. Overall, I would say this is a pretty accurate gun. I will compare it with my Beretta Cheetah and also my Kimber Micro 380 in some subsequent videos. This is really just first shots, as I have in the title. Don't read into this as this is, all of these are, this is a sample of one. Who knows, maybe this thing will crap the bed in 300 rounds, right? I have no idea. You are seeing the first shots. I hope that's useful. It may not be, but definitely a bunch of shots in that hole. And working pretty good. I'm going to paste that up, and we'll see what we can do with the last few rounds of this. We'll shoot a 5-shot group. It looks like maybe I have a 6 bolts left. We'll shoot a 6-shot group. We'll see what kind of accuracy we can do with it. Again, we're out at about 6 yards. Do our final 6 shots with this S&B ammunition, and we'll see how we can shoot after warming up just a little bit. All right, I had one little flyer, but again, that's because I'm doing a little bit of micro adjustments and guessing where these things are going to go. I think I will probably want to drift these sights just a little bit, just so that they are within my comfort zone. But let's talk about this pistol. So as we talked about earlier when we just kind of had it on the table, I really like these slide serrations. It is very easy to grab a hold of. Whatever way you're going to, I don't think you can do under, it's too short, but the front sight is very visible. I like that orange with a little bit of tritium in the front to make it a night sight. I like that. I like that it is cut out pretty big. It allows me to set some parameters with it within my vision. And so I think that allowed me to get up a little bit closer. I do think that's probably the best that I have shot with a micro 380 type gun. And given I've had the LCP Max in the past, I've had my Kimber Micro 380, this may be the best that I am shooting with this gun. I also like its grip length, even though we'll have to see on carrying it. I'm going to have to determine that later in another review. But even with this short mag, I personally, again, I wear gloves that are size large. I can still get a pinky on the bottom of that. I can get very up high, very low bore axis. I think that helps with the recoil management on this. And I can get that pinky up there. I love that it has an index spot for my thumb. It is a very comfortable shooting gun. I would say the slide pullback is not easy. If you are someone with a weak hand grip, you may struggle just a little bit with that. This is not something that I would, a gun that I would recommend for someone who has weak hand strength or someone who has deteriorating strength. I think there are probably better options out there. It's not that hard. I'm sure that my wife and daughters could rack this slide. The texture, the grip texture, very traditional M&P-like, Bodyguard-like, is awesome. The thinness of this gun is really just surprising to me. It keeps surprising me. It is a gun you're going to have to learn how to shoot and get comfortable with it. I could never get comfortable with my LCP Max. I can already tell that I am going to be very comfortable in shooting this handgun. So I think overall, my first impressions are exactly what the rest of the internet is saying. This is a keeper. This is a great one. Now, does that mean that in my next 100 rounds or in my next 1,000 rounds of shooting this gun, I'll find out something different? It absolutely could. So take this as a small sample. I have shot one box of 50 rounds, and that's it. And you saw every round that I fired today. I would like to thank Smith & Wesson for providing this gun, but they didn't provide this gun. So I am not going to thank. Well, in a way they did. They provided it after I paid them money. But at any rate, I think that if you are in the market for a pocket concealable pistol or something that is just very small concealing, I think this is a decent option for you to consider. Time will tell if this is worth spending your money. You may be wiser than me and wait until there are more reviews out on this gun, until there are more people that are getting their hands on them and getting their reviews out, and see in the internet forums and others, like what happens when this gun has 1,000 rounds, what happens when this gun is carried in a lot of varieties of other places. A couple other things that I might say is that when I got my LCP Max, and this was pretty early on in that journey, there was a lot of rust on the slide. There was no rust. The nitriding or the finishing that they put on these slides is very nice. There's no patina shine to it like I had on my LCP Max. Yeah, I think this one is a keeper. I'm pretty excited about it. I don't know if you could, I'm not like, woohoo, yeah. Funnest gun ever. Pocket guns are never the funnest gun ever. It definitely would be replacing my permanent pocket carry gun. I like the fact, of course, that it's 10 rounds and 12 rounds. I hope that this review has been interesting for you. I hope that you found some value in it. I wouldn't stake all your marbles and go out and buy it because Trigger Bar says he enjoyed shooting 50 rounds. Like who even knows what this gun is going to do? But if you're curious, I think, you know, as I have been, so far so good, and I'm pretty excited about that. Let me know what you guys think about the Bodyguard 2.0. Is this something that you're getting interested in? Is this something you can get excited about? Is 380 something that you're going to stay away from because you would never ever have that in your arsenal? For Turkey's opinion, I am talking at you that you're missing out. Look at that. It's just so cute. Look at the size of that shell. It's just so cute. You're missing out on that. I mean, this is a more elegant weapon for a more elegant time is all I can say. Well, if any of those thoughts, if you have thoughts on that, please put it in the comments below. I appreciate everybody taking the time out of their day to watch. Hope everyone has a great week. Let's get shooting.